right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS. This is awesome, a PlayStation podcast, and this is episode 290. We are 10 away from monumental episode 300, and this is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. Before we get on with the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS. This is awesome. And if you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PSN, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at JakeSaw01. As always, you can write the show at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends, leave comments, and rate the podcast as you see fit. So like right now, just pause it, go do the thing, and then come back. And as a reminder, you can watch our show if you prefer over on YouTube. And for new and or long-time listeners, we have a Patreon. So what that means is it's a site that allows you to throw a little tip our way each month so that we can keep doing this. It's incentive for us, and it's a way of saying thank you to us. And it is a Patreon website is what they call it, and there are different tiers. We only have one tier. It's called the One and Only $1 Club. If you do that for $1 a month, you can support our show if you go to patreon.com/psthisisawesome, and we will mail you this free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail, and we'll give you a shout out also. So with that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling okay. I said something before the show about how I was not feeling super well just because I was weed whacking. I hit a nest of ground bees. For those of you that don't live places where you're outside or have ever been attacked by an entire colony of ground bees before, it's not fun. Because they just like follow you around the yard and keep stinging you when you're running away. So I got hit a bunch of times, and now I'm like all swollen and itchy and freaking kind of gross feeling. But other than that, doing okay. Had a pretty good weekend. Spent all my time outside, so I'm a little sun soaked. But other than that, I'm alive.
Yeah, that's how Macaulay Culkin's character dies in The Good Son, I believe, or one of those shows. He plays somebody. And he gets killed by getting stung by bees because he has an allergic reaction, and they can't save him.
Yeah, I'm not allergic to bees, thankfully. But even if you're not allergic to bees, if you get stung enough, it's a problem. So, basically I just got inside and we have a pool. So basically I just took all my clothes off and jumped in the pool whenever I was getting stung. So that was nice. I mean, there weren't really any bees on me at that point, but it was just like, if you get stung by a bee before, it fucking hurts.
Yeah,
and
it sucks.
Throbs. So though getting in the cold water was awesome. But first thing I did was come inside and just be like, because I was home alone.
Another good Macaulay Culkin movie. Okay,
just Google how long do I have to worry about anaphylaxis? And it's like, okay, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, it's been more than 30 minutes. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be freaking swollen and itchy and, all this other stuff. So, but yeah, it's, some people are like really allergic to bees.
Right.
And that's crazy to me, but thankfully I'm not.
Yeah, it's a world that I'm, you can develop allergies over time though. You may not have been allergic, and then the next time you get stung, have a reaction. So and there are different kinds of bees. Obviously, but I don't know if the ones that stung you are the kind that die when they sting you.
I don't know.
Did you find any stingers?
I got stung. I think I got stung a few times by like I know I got stung at least twice by one of the bees. So I'm guessing probably not. But I don't know. They're just these like yellow jacket kind of ground bees. I don't know if you've seen them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Exactly.
They're pretty common around here, especially this time of year in the summertime. And I just was going over an area of my property that I haven't had to do in a while, and I guess at some point in time they got in there and decided they were gonna defend their territory. Which
it's so weird how they know who the threat is. Like
we should just kill all bees. I'm thinking.
I
mean,
bees.
I get that. I get that they're like pollinators and stuff. Like, if you want to keep the bumblebees around, fine, that's fine. Or like the carpenter bees, that's fine. Like they don't fuck with you. They're just like, hey, we're just chilling. We're big, fat, and kind of fuzzy looking. And then, but like, there are a lot of bees that are just assholes. and I think those ones can probably be eliminated.
I think
same
they're
with
cool.
like mosquitoes.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think mosquitoes, the world's a better place without them for sure. All mosquitoes do is spread diseases and make you fucking itch all the time and ruin the outdoors. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's funny that it's not funny, but it's interesting that you had some outdoor issues because I've been battling on below my kneecaps to my ankles. I know I have poison ivy in the mulch in my backyard, and once that shit starts growing, it's like really, really hard to get rid of. Like they make certain sprays, and the spray's like, well, you can't just spray it, you gotta fucking dig it up, and you gotta do all this shit, and it's like, my skin, it reacts pretty bad to poison ivy. Like all I have to be is like close to it, and I'll get fucking itchy and stuff. But I have these poison ivy blisters on my legs below my kneecaps because I think I might have hit it with a weed whacker as well, a piece of it, and I'm pretty sure like I had it on my legs because I weed whacked in shorts like an idiot, but it just hung on my legs until I was done with doing shit in the yard, and then my dog also will like run right into it. I don't know if you know, but animals typically have no reaction to poison ivy. It doesn't even affect them. So like he'll get it on his.
Yeah, I'm not allergic either.
Oh my god, he'll get it on his coat,
Yeah, I don't.
and then like he'll come in the house, and I won't know, and then like he'll like rub up against my legs and shit, and then like, so like my legs have been like really agitating, lately. So it's just outdoor bullshit that we got to deal with, but it is what it is, man. I went golfing today. My dad and I played Hillwood. I didn't do great, but I didn't do terrible. I sunk like 2 really long putts, but outside of that, my drive has not been what it needs to be. He actually played pretty well. So we're just practicing for tomorrow. But outside of that, one last thing. I have those G.I. Joe classified figures, and they don't come with figure stands. So I found a 3D print file. I don't know if this is like a little mini stand that you can put your little guys on. I don't know. So it's kind of cool. I painted it black, and I'm going to paint the top. So I have a Instagram called the Keystone Cobra, and I like to pose my figures and take shots of them and get praise. I get praise from all of my fellow collectors. It's like, wow, that's a fucking badass figure. I'm like, yeah, dude. So anyways, it's a nice little community over there we have for G.I. Joe collectors. All we do is just feed into each other's bullshit, collecting issues. Shit, I gotta mute that. Sorry about that. But yeah, man, let's talk about some games. We were late last episode, so we picked up news, I think, on Tuesday. So for this episode, we only have Wednesday through Sunday to cover. So not a whole lot. As far as every episode, Jake, we talk about games that we're currently playing. And last episode, I believe I had talked about how I didn't get back to Switchback VR, and that is still the case. And it's easier just to put on Shredder's Revenge and play that. So, and I have to make a public I'll have to humiliate myself briefly publicly on this section, because last episode I remember saying something like how I've S ranked every episode, and it was like really, really easy. I'm an idiot, so like it doesn't have rankings. The S that shows up in the bottom right when you beat the level just means it's saving the game. It's just an S in like an ooze canister, and I figured that was like my rank. I was like, oh fuck, I got the S rank. So it doesn't say, I just assumed, because I have been kicking ass, but not dying a lot. And I was like, wow, I must be doing... Streets of Rage has different ranks, so I figured they would follow suit, but they didn't. So, Jake, are you playing anything?
Nah, I mean, I haven't really had much of a chance to this week, so I downloaded a couple things to dick around with, but I haven't had a chance to even open anything up.
Yeah.
I still have Final Fantasy 16 going on, but I haven't had a whole lot of a time to play it since we last talked, because I haven't even touched my PlayStation at all this weekend.
Yeah.
And because I was out early for a golf outing yesterday, and I was this morning I couldn't play because my hand was so swollen from being stung by a bee. So I'm gonna get back to it hopefully this week and be able to try some new things out, I think.
Good. Well, that's good. Well, you know what? I feel like we're going to blow right through this podcast. This is...
Fine by me.
What's that, fine by you?
I said fine by me.
Yeah, I guess if there's not a ton to talk about, we don't need to talk about just dragging on. But we do get into listener feedback and listener questions, and you, as the listener, can write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com, or you can go to our Patreon, subscribe to that, and leave us a note on there. I post every episode. Sometimes you get them a little bit early, not a lot. Sometimes you get them right on time. And if you're getting them late, you're getting them late like everybody else. But you can also post comments on our YouTube site, which is what a lot of people have been doing. And we had an interesting comment in a language I didn't understand. So I use like Google Translate, and I think this could be a bot. I always think things are bots. I'm not sure, but I took it because it's some sort of like weird gaming channel that has like 3.4 thousand followers, but they only have one video. And it's like, what the fuck are you? But it was written in Russian, and all it said was, thanks for the heartwarming video.
It's a bot.
I thought so. The problem I had to bring it up, though, is because we incorrectly assessed J1 as being a bot.
I mean, it's possible that it's not, but it seems kind of... Yeah, it just seems weird.
It is really weird. It's really strange. Anyways, let's get into what we know to be real people who commented on our post. Elite Melon YT725 writes, yeah, that Red Dead Redemption port just seems very lazy. It'll just be the story mode in Undead Nightmare, which feels more like a short story expansion. The online will not be brought over, which is another strange move. And then they say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre seems very promising since there was a technical test for PC in May, and the game looks really good considering from what I've seen, not many bugs from a gameplay standpoint. But yeah, I enjoyed watching the podcast. Smiley face. So thanks for tuning in. And Elite Melon, YT725. And I will say, regarding the Red Dead Redemption port, it is noted to be a higher resolution, and it doesn't really introduce any new bugs to the already 13-year-old game, but the text in the menu, from what I understand, hadn't gotten any kind of upgrade. So when you go to the menus, it looks like garbage compared to the rest of it. Like, it's not high-resed, so it looks really weird. So I don't know why the hell they would do that. So I don't know. That's weird. And apparently, like, it's not as bad as what like the game industry thought it was going to be. But at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you give this the royal treatment? So it still feels like a cash grab as far as I'm concerned. But Jake, do you have anything on that? The Red Dead Redemption, Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I hope that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is cool. Like, I like that these types of games exist, and I love that the IP is being used in a fashion that is not like cash grabby or anything like that. And then it seems like it's actually an interesting kind of use case.
Yeah.
For that, like 1v many kind of multiplayer. It's not a game that I'm gonna play, but I hope that people like it and they're interested in playing it, because it'd be cool to see a game like that succeed. Like, I would consider Friday the 13th that game a success. I think they just they let the license lapse or something like that, and they just kind of quit supporting it, which is fine. I'm sure it's probably expensive to do that type of thing, but I don't know. It's pretty neat. As far as the Red Dead port goes, I don't know. There's no way that anyone's going to convince me that this is worth buying for $50. I mean, I just don't see how it's even possible. Short of it being like a legitimate remaster, which I don't think that it is. Yeah. So even if it's not like as bad as people thought, like, I don't know. I mean, can it really be as good as a $50 game? I don't think so.
Could you justify getting it if you've never played it before, and because it is up-resed? Would you just get the $50 version as opposed to the $40 version that was online or whatever prior to this?
Well, it depends. If you have an Xbox, you can buy it digitally. So here's the thing. This particular version of the game is not available on Xbox, and the reason is because Xbox already has it via backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And if you have an Xbox, you can buy that backwards compatible version, which already has upscaling and all of that kind of stuff built into it because they do that with their backwards compatibility program. It's $30. So they're just charging PlayStation gamers for a similar product. It's like, yeah, it's up-res. It's like, okay, well, now you're like on par with the backwards compatible version on Xbox, and you're charging $20 more for it. So to me, like, is Red Dead Redemption worth $50? Yes. Do I think that Rockstar charging $50 for this game, do I think it's a ripoff? Yes. So I guess what I'm getting at is that if you don't mind paying the money and you have the disposable income, you should play Red Dead Redemption because it's an amazing game. However, understand that Rockstar is ripping you off. That's my comment.
Fair enough. One Black Talon writes in, we talked about the Quake 2 remaster coming out, and he simply writes, please let us know if you get Quake 2. Jake, you had mentioned you were interested in this. Is this one of the games you downloaded?
So I actually did download it, yeah. So, but I haven't played it yet. I actually was really meaning to jump into it and play it a little bit before the podcast. I just haven't had a chance all weekend to get on and game or anything. So hopefully by next podcast, I'll have some notes on it because I'm really interested in checking it out.
All right. I know Digital Foundry took a look at it and they were like, yeah, this is awesome. They said really did a good job with it. So that's exciting. Nice. Yeah. For those who don't know, Digital Foundry is a YouTube channel. They do all the super high-tech review stuff of games, stuff in the gaming world. And they usually do a pretty good job. They know what they're talking about. And in fact, half the time, what they're saying doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm just like, yeah. And at the end, they're like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is.
If you say so.
Yeah, if you guys say it's awesome after doing all these weird tech spec outs of these things. Anyways, let's get to the news, Jake. We talk about the news every episode of the show. And this time around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quick things we're going to touch on. And the first of these news things that I wanted to go about is Honkai Star Rail. This hasn't been announced for the PlayStation yet. Well, we know that it's happening, but the release date hasn't been announced, right? But it has been confirmed that cross-save is going to be supported. Now, the developer of Genshin Impact, this is MiHoYo, also are responsible for this game. And they've alluded that we're going to be able to see more of this game being played during Gamescom, and a lot more info can be expected on Honkai Star Rail there. Jake, do you have any growing interest in Honkai Star Rail?
I mean, I am interested in the game for sure. Is it something that I am going to want to play? I mean, I'll probably, assuming nothing else gets in the way, I'll probably try it. I assume it's free to play.
Yeah, it's going to be free to play like Genshin Impact. Yep.
So if that's the case, then yeah, I'll check it out. Is it going to be something that is going to stick with me? I can't guarantee that because I very rarely do these free-to-play style games grab me, because as soon as they start inundating me with all the free-to-play I don't want to say garbage because people like it, but all the free-to-play accoutrements, I just can't really deal with it.
I believe
anymore.
It's a gacha game also.
Yeah, so... But yeah, I think it looks cool, and I'm interested in checking it out. So if it comes out or when it comes out, I'll probably download it and maybe try it for a couple of days just to see what it's like.
Yeah. I bet you it's going to be good. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Honkai in a second. But the next news point that, Jake, we always kind of give a shout out to this game, though none of us actively really play it. But No Man's Sky released, well, I guess No Man's Sky didn't, but Hello Games released a anniversary trailer for No Man's Sky, who is now 7 years old. And this is kind of wild because this game, when it came out, faced so much uphill clawing or battling that it's surprising that they've been able to do a big turnaround on this game, and it shows their dedication to the property. And this is a game I really have to play in VR too. Now, I don't know why I'm sleeping on it. VR2 is just one of those things, but I have the game. I bought it for $5. I talk about this on the podcast every once in a while. We talk about No Man's Sky for $5 used at Walmart, or no, brand new at Walmart. It was on clearance. And then when they turned shit around on the game, it's now selling for retail. So it dipped, and then the price is back up to regular, I believe. I think some of the Plus users might have gotten it for free, but I just want to try this game in VR. And this anniversary video is really cool because it really gives like a top-down view of how far they've moved this game forward, because it's like all these different, like, it's almost like a culmination of all of their free added content. Now, all of the content that I'm aware of for this game has been free. Like, I don't think they've charged for any of it, which is also really awesome. And this video kind of goes on, and there's a really cool music in the background that's playing. It sounds kind of indie or emo or something. Not emo in the way that prior listeners think, but like maybe like Old Promise Ring or like Texas Is the Reason or something. But it's really insane. And at the end of this 7-year anniversary trailer, or I guess stinger, if you want to call it that, they have announced yet another DLC for the game, a free DLC called Echoes. They just announce it. They don't tell you what it is. And it's like, what the fuck is going on with No Man's Sky? Like, this is crazy. They just make this thing...
It's pretty legit now.
Yeah, they really make it legit. They really made it awesome. So, Jake, do you have anything you'd like to say about No Man's Sky? Like, I'm pretty impressed with Hello Games, despite not being really a player of the game. It's like
the
story.
No Man's Sky is like the quintessential sort of redemption arc in as far as like games go. They did not release so I bought the game at launch, and I played it at launch, and I liked it, but people were upset because it didn't deliver on all of these like veiled promises that they made about what the game was going to be, and like multiplayer and all this kind of stuff. So over the years, it was almost just like they kind of turned around and they were like, well, they felt like they needed to over-prove themselves, if that makes any sense. Because like the game is so much crazier now. Like what the game is now is insane compared to what it was whenever I played it. And it's just, and I did check back in at one point, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but even then it's changed so much more since then. So especially like I haven't tried it even at all since they updated it with VR, because they allowed the use of the original PSVR on it, and I never tried that out. So now that does it support VR2?
Yeah.
So is this new, or did they announce, was it like, has it been supported since the launch of VR2?
I don't know that it's been since launch, but it was right around the launch time.
Okay. Because I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, just being able to fly around space and do a bunch of stuff, I think that's pretty neat. Now, with the behemoth that is Starfield on their horizon, is this game gonna basically be pushed out of that space as far as the zeitgeist goes? Maybe, but PlayStation gamers can't play Starfield. So if you're looking for that type of sort of space exploration kind of game that just kind of gives you free roam of the universe, No Man's Sky might be worth checking out. And I'm sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure you could get it pretty cheap right now. And I don't see why you couldn't spend, if it triggered your fancy, it's possible that you could get like hours, like dozens of hours out of this game, just running around Like here, I'm just gonna Google No Man's Sky.
He needs to know. He needs to know what it's gonna cost.
I just want to know what it costs. It's $30 right now on PS5 and PS4.
All right.
So, and I guarantee you that there are sales occasionally where it's cheaper than that. It does say 50% off right now. So I don't know if maybe it's on sale at the moment, but if you have any interest, $30 is not a bad price for this game. There's a lot you can do in it, especially if you're into multiplayer kind of adventure games. Now you can run around with your buddies. That's pretty cool.
It'd be really fun to do that in VR.
Yeah. I do wonder what some of the walking around and traversal, like obviously like flying around in a spaceship and stuff, that makes a lot of sense in VR. But I wonder what some of the other, like if they, like how the traversal works. Because a lot of times when you're in VR and you're traversing a level, they'll do like the snap travel kind of thing. And, I wonder if it's full free look and free move, or if they have like VR specific control options. But guess you don't know until you find out.
Yeah, we're going to have to try it out. All right, let's get into the next news point. This one is kind of interesting. And this is more on Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. There was a huge gameplay showcase on this game, and it does look really cool. And it got me thinking, this is less of a Fires of Rubicon discussion point, but more of a discussion point that I think like we need more space games. And I think, in fact, Jake, that we're getting more space games now. And I feel this all kind of started with, it didn't all start, but this resurgence with the announcement of like Callisto Protocol. And then what's the one that we talked about briefly that's not out yet, but there's a guy in a spacesuit. We said it was kind of like, I drew a comparison to maybe like The Last of Us, but like outer space. It has a weird name. It's not out. It's like Pragmata.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a space game. And then like, of course, we just talked about No Man's Sky, which is a space game. I mean, that came out before Callisto Protocol. And then, everybody's getting excited about Starfield. Fires of Rubicon is a space game, kind of. And then, this Honkai Star Rail game is like future space stuff, but Genshin Impact. And then, we did get the Dead Space remake. And then there are some other space games on the docket, like Quantum Error looks really cool. It's not really space, but it's futuristic. In that regard, we didn't really get a lot of games that were like futuristic. We had a lot of games that were grounded in like reality and like the present. Like one could argue like the Last of Us games, the Uncharted games, the Watch Dogs games, the Days Gone games, even though they were kind of futurist, whatever the one game is that I really liked, The Division, even though it was kind of future, it was still like very much grounded in like these reality things. But it's weird. I wanted to bring up that I think it's weird how we see a shift in the themes of these games. And when one starts to come out, like it's like, oh my God, like we're getting a lot of space games now. And it's interesting. And I wonder, like, are these developers like just kind of like secretly seeing what other people are doing, and they're like, oh, we're going to make a space game now? Because I know for a long time, Naughty Dog had said that they wanted to make a space game. They thought it would be really cool. And then there was that scene in The Last of Us, minor spoiler, where Ellie puts on the space helmet. And it's like, is that a teaser for what Naughty Dog's working on? Are they working on a space fucking game? Like, what do you think? Deliver us Mars, deliver us the moon or whatever. Those games were space games. It's weird.
Yeah. I think that it's just like trends, right? I mean, for a while, every game was getting a battle royale mode, and before that, it was like every game was getting a tacked on multiplayer mode, and then there was the loot box thing, and and then there was like zombie games were the big thing, or whatever. I mean, there's just so much stuff that there are all these trends, and I think that space games have not come around in a while. Like I'm not going to say that we didn't get sci-fi games, because we did, but there was a big push in the last 10 or 15 years for like grounded, gritty kind of games, whether it be modern military shooters or, you know, your post-apocalyptic stuff like Last of Us or whatever. That's, even though it's, I guess you would say technically it's sci-fi because it's dealing with events that are not really possible.
Science
it's not the
fiction.
same as like a what's that game I was thinking of? The one where it's like the run and gun shooter, but you're like it's like futuristic, it's third person, and
Ghost Runner?
No. This was done by
Ghostwire Tokyo?
Platinum. No, before that, this is a PS3 game. I don't know. I'll think of it at some point, but it's like a third person shooter where you're like doing a lot of jumping around and running between cover, and it's like high score, but it's like there's like a story.
Mirror's
really
Edge?
Kind of. No. This is a Platinum made this game. Fucking Platinum.
He's got to look it up.
I don't know why this is like this is Vanquish.
Oh, Jesus.
And you know, it was like the PS3 generation, we had a lot of stuff like that. And then like the PS4 generation, it was like, ooh, graphics, realism, grounded, sad dad simulator, all this kind of stuff. And like, you know, Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. And now it seems like we're kind of reeling it back in, where we're starting with things like, you know, Armored Core and stuff, where we're just getting great science fiction and I would say Armored Core is kind of more hard sci-fi. It seems like it's relatively grounded. It's just like, I don't even know if Armored Core is a space game.
Yeah, it is.
Takes, you know,
there's like space shuttles and
space.
Shit. Yeah, there are. And then don't forget about the Telltale's The Expanse is also coming out. So I mean, there's all kinds of space shit, dude.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, I love sci-fi games, so I'm all about it. But I could see there be a bubble bursting at some point if it's literally the only thing that comes out. But I think that there's a diverse enough type of game that's coming out now that we don't really have to worry about it.
No, I just think it's interesting, like you said, to kind of see the trend. Like, they're all making these games around the same time, so it's weird. But anyways, I guess enough about that, my dude. The next news point I had, and this is more, I don't even know, this isn't really space, but there's an open beta for a game called The First Descendant. And that open beta is going to span from September 19th to September 25th. And apparently this game is taking full advantage of the PS5's power. Now, there is a PS4 version, but I think it was developed firstly for the PS5. There's a nice trailer that dropped recently on the Sony YouTube for this game. And I'm just curious, Jake, this is a shooter, third person, and it looks interesting. And I don't know if it's going to be a free-to-play game, but it looks interesting. Any interest at all in The First Descendant? I
watched this trailer, and to me, and maybe it's just the trailer, but it looks kind of generic to me. Like how I feel like I've seen a million games like this in the past 5 years. And so until we get a little bit more of like an in-depth thing going on and see like actual game moment-to-moment gameplay and, you know, what's this all about? Is there a story? Is it just like a fucking shared world shooter kind of thing that, you know, people just get together and fight spongy bosses and stuff like that? I don't know. Like, when I'm watching it, it has a cool like visual flair to it, but just looks like another what do they call that? Games like Destiny and stuff.
Like a looter shooter.
I've got not a looter shooter, but oh god, it's like just like a multiplayer, shared world kind of shooter type thing. I don't know why it's
all this
why, dude.
bee stings.
Dude, these bee stings have such a brain fog. I've had it all day. Like I can't fucking think of anything. I was trying to have a conversation with my wife earlier, and I was telling her about a conversation I had with my dad, and the entire conversation was me saying the wrong names of all of my relatives and like people who weren't even in the conversation and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, what actually? Anyway.
Do they still hurt?
Yeah, I don't know. What?
Your bee stings still hurt, or are they just swollen?
They ache. You get like achy joints and stuff. So like I have that part of it, and they're just red and itchy and swollen. But I didn't want to take any Benadryl because I'd be fucking sleeping on this podcast.
Yeah, you'd be knocked out, dude.
But anyway, but as far as this game goes, it looks like one of those games where I'd be interested in trying the open beta, but unless there's something special there that I didn't see in the trailer, it seems a little bit generic to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to make of it.
Live service game is what I was thinking of.
It's a nice, it's a nice looking game. Like it doesn't look bad.
I agree. I like I said, it's got a nice like visual style to it, and it looks clean cut, and it looks like you're running around shooting stuff. The animations look good and everything, but
who knows?
What does that really mean?
Yeah, in the world of Unreal Engine 5, or whatever the hell we're in now, does that even matter? Because everything can look good. I don't know.
It's got to have substance. And you won't really know that without playing it, I guess.
Got to be some fucking teeth.
Because like if I have to shoot a fucking bad guy 5,000 times because he's super spongy because it's meant to be played with multiple people, like I don't know, it's not gonna cut the cheese for me.
All right, well that's the First Descendant, and make sure if you're interested in that game to try it out. 9/19 to 9/25 open beta. All right, next news point is CyberPunk related, and I apologize because people don't really like to hear about CyberPunk. Well, they do. I think we just got kind of tired of talking about it, but the long-awaited CyberPunk 2077 update that is going to implement game-changing improvements prior to the release of the DLC Phantom Liberty will be featured on the next CD Projekt Red stream on August 24th. The update's going to overhaul the in-game police, the melee combat, and add new open-world activities and a restructure of the skill trees. And we're also going to be getting a glimpse of Phantom Liberty gameplay at Opening Night Live for Gamescom on August 22nd. So I wouldn't be surprised if when they do the Red stream on August 24th, if we do get a little bit more taste of Phantom Liberty as well as what this update's going to offer us. The police have been so broken in this game. The law has been terrible in this game. Melee, I wasn't a big fan of it. I have a character right now that's melee focused, and it works, but it's just like it doesn't feel great. And so I'm curious to see how they're restructuring all the skill trees too, because that is like the foundation of this game and leveling up and like your character. So what are they going to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I really liked this game, and I kind of want to see what they do with it. I thought we were supposed to get this expansion like this summer.
The expansion is coming, but this DLC, this patch, it's going to fix all the game shit, is a free update to the game. So it's going to update the game as is, but I understand.
Yeah, I understand that. I was just curious about when Phantom Liberty is coming out, because I could have swore that it was supposed to come out like it says September 26th, I guess.
Yeah, so next month.
Okay. There's probably I don't know if it's probably not a good time. Maybe I'll have a chance to play it. Depends on what I decide to choose to play in October. But I mean I love this game, so I would be interested in going back to it and like maybe even starting a new character to see what the new skill trees and all that kind of stuff. Like maybe even just start a melee character if they overhauled that whole system just to see what that was about. I loved the smart weapons in that game, so that's like all I used. I never really used a lot of the melee weapons. Sometimes I did because it was there. I was able to. They had some really cool skills aligned with the melee weapons. So, but do you know, like, is this update coming out before, or is it launching with at the same time as the?
They haven't
expansion?
said. All they've said is that you don't have to buy the DLC to get the update.
Sure.
So that's all they've said. I don't know if it's coming out the same. I would presume it's coming out in advance of the DLC being released, so they can iron out any issues before the DLC drops. But I don't know. But
I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, kind of interesting. This next news point is interesting only in the fact that I haven't seen anybody do this yet with a video game. So in an interesting way to capitalize on the success of the Walking Dead TV series, there's a game coming out titled The Walking Dead Destinies. And what this game does is it lets you, the player, change decisions that were made in the TV show to see how things could have played out. And this is a neat idea, and while the trailer was done really well, I'm not sure that the gameplay within the trailer, as far as graphics and everything, it kind of looks kind of meh. But the concept is interesting. So it's interesting that, like, you know, when you watch The Walking Dead, one of the reasons why people talked about it so much is because there were, like, crazy pivots in the story. Like, a character make a decision, like, they would decide to do something that would, like, have huge ramifications. And it seemed like it was very divisive from the audience, and half the audience be like, "Oh, I should have done this," and half the audience, "I should have done that." But we only really got to see what happens if it played out the one way. So in this game, while I believe all the voice acting is done by voice actors and not the actual characters from the TV show, it gives you these scenarios that, you know, I think essentially it's the story of seasons 1 through season 4 of the TV series, and you just get to play that out and make these crazy situations that you only know happen in the TV series happen a different way in the game to see how crazy things can go off rails. So it's a really cool idea, but is it going to do well is another question. I don't know.
So is it all live action?
No, it's all art. It's all like a regular game.
But it's essentially redoing the TV show story.
Yeah, you're playing the TV show story in the game, but you reserve the right to make the major decisions and see how it could shake out. And it's like, and it's weird because, like, the way they frame this trailer is like some of the shots that I remember from the TV series are almost 1-to-1 with how they did the game. And it's like, wow, this is kind of interesting. It's like Marvel has the alternate universe. It's like, what if? You know what I mean? It's like a video game about, like, what if this would have happened in the Walking Dead TV show. It's really fucking cool.
I mean, it's an interesting concept. I could not care less about The Walking Dead, so I'm not going to play it. But I think that I always like these ideas on paper, but I don't know that I've ever played one that executed on its promise in making it actually be fun, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes complete sense. I hear you. Guess we'll just have to wait and find out what people think of it. I don't even remember the studio involved with it, but it wasn't like a big name studio that I can remember, but it seemed interesting to me that they were even attempting to do this. Because some people might just be like, dude, this is sacrilegious. You can't just change the TV show. But anyways, next news point.
I mean, it's... I get it.
It is what it is.
I'm looking at the trailer right now just to try to see sort of what the deal is. But
go ahead.
Seems like it might be just a smidge jank. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The trailer was presented really well, but the stuff within the trailer, like the way it was cut up, is nice. Like, it's a nice trailer.
Yeah, I'm curious how they will change, because obviously they're going to be changing the narrative of the story if you're able to change the decisions that are made in the game. And like, if you choose to make the decision that they made in the TV show, like, does it just show you more of the TV show? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. Next news point is I want to take a moment to talk about a smaller game, Jake. And maybe you've heard about this game. Maybe you haven't. But I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. And it looks really cool. And the game is Quantum Error. And it's advertised as a cosmic horror game coming to PS5 on November 3rd. The story is essentially that you play a futuristic firefighter that's sent to investigate a research facility that sits about 30 miles off the coast of California, and the year is 2109. The research facility is absolutely covered in flames. The game kind of starts off with you trying to recover civilians or people who are in need of your help, and because this research facility was attacked by an unknown entity. And ultimately, the game slowly spirals into this horror game. And it's a cool premise. It's a little... There's some holes in it. Why would you be the only person that gets sent to, like, go...
Yeah.
But maybe it's, like, some sort of mindfuck game. I don't know. But it's called Quantum Error. And there's not a lot of games you get to play a firefighter. So that's kind of neat. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like it looks like I'm watching like a gameplay video of it.
Yeah.
It looks like eventually it just like degrades into a first person shooter. But like, not that that's a bad thing. But it's got some like Metro vibes to it, where you've got like your firefighter mask and he's like wiping off the face shield and stuff.
It looks cool.
But it looks cool. I mean, like there's nothing about it that screams like garbage to me.
And I think it was made in Unreal Engine 5, so.
Yeah, it might not be the best game on the planet, but hopefully it's just like a solid, fun game. I don't know. It looks kind of neat, though.
Yeah, Quantum Error, something to keep our eyes on. This next one was a big one. This next news point's a big one, and I don't know if, Jake, you even got to see this, but I was really kind of impressed, with this thing that happened. So, a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the trailer dropped, and I gotta say, dude, Tom Rhodes, whoever that is, he's some sort of musician, did one of the best versions of Don't Fear the Reaper I've ever heard. And this game drops November 10th, 2023. It's being developed by Sledgehammer Games, who, of course, were partnered up with Affinity Ward for this one. And the song's originally written and performed by Blue Oyster Cult. But Tom Rhodes, dude, this version is so haunting and so good, and it matches this trailer perfectly. Man, if you're into music, check out his version of Don't Fear the Reaper. It sucks because I went on YouTube to try to find it, and like it had all of the game sound clips like in the backdrop of it too. So like video game noise, people like locking and loading and stuff. But like I would like to hear just the song as it is. It's like an 8-minute rendition of the song, which is weird. You probably just like, here's me doing this song as spooky and like thematic as I possibly can. Here's bits and bobs. Use whatever you guys want to use for the trailer. But dude, it's awesome. And this trailer looks so sick. Every Call of Duty trailer looks awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. They all look awesome.
Yeah. Every time I see the words Call of Duty, I want to like kill myself. But every time I watch one of their single player story trailers, I want to play it so bad.
Yeah. I know.
Like I don't know what it is about these games. Like I can't stand the just general kind of atmosphere around Call of Duty, but
or maybe the stigma.
Not even necessarily that. I think it's a fine game and everything like that. It's just like I'm so sick of hearing about it. I think it has a lot to do with the ABK stuff and that we've been talking about for a year. And it's like everyone's like, it's like, oh, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Even like that, like people, like everyone that I know that doesn't, that's not like you want to call it a core gamer or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, let's go play some fucking COD. And I'm like, okay. It's cool that it's so popular, but there's so many better games that exist. And it's frustrating to me that this one game that's basically been the same for the past 15 years with some tweaks here and there, and as far as multiplayer goes, is so popular. Like, why is it that Call of Duty can sell 20 million copies a year, but Ghost of Tsushima can only sell, like 8 million copies across its lifetime or whatever the hell it was? So, and I would argue that Ghost of Tsushima is, as far as like a piece of art is concerned, would be, miles above what Call of Duty is. But I think it's just the way that I think about it. Call of Duty is almost more like a sport than it is anything. It's like you don't get mad at people for liking football. You know what I mean? Like, so why would you get mad at them for liking Call of Duty? But because somebody, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. But I will say that generally their campaigns are awesome. And even like the ones that are meh are usually really awesome just because the production value is so high. Like, the graphics are amazing. Like, the set pieces are amazing. Crazy shit happens. The voice acting's really good. They get celebrities in there. Like, even the ones where the story's kind of meh, the campaign is still fucking awesome. Except for, what was the last one I played?
The one with Kevin Spacey?
No. That one was okay. Black Ops 3. The campaign was fucking trash.
Which one was that one?
But other than that, it's the one where it like gets really freaking sci-fi.
Oh yeah, that one does suck.
Like, in the end, you're like inside your own head and all this shit. Like, I don't know. They tried too hard with it. But yeah, I don't know. The trailer looks great though. Like, I didn't hear the song because I was just kind of scrubbing through it, but the trailer looks fucking awesome.
Dude, you gotta watch the trailer with the song, and then you'll be like, I'm gonna fucking buy this. Like it's that good with that song. It'll just change your mind.
I wish, and who knows, maybe Microsoft will do this. I wish they would split the campaign and the multiplayer and just let me buy the fucking campaign for
$20,
$40 or $50, even if it's $40 or $50. Let me buy the campaign for that. And then
I would buy the whole thing for $70 at that point. But
yeah, I can understand why you would if you had interest in the multiplayer, but I just know that I would never play the multiplayer. So I might as well get a little bit of a discount just to play the campaign. But I'm never going to buy it for $70 just to play the campaign, even though I'm interested in it. So, and then by the time it gets discounted or it's on PS Plus or something, the ship has sailed and I really have no interest. But I get that I'm the minority as far as Call of Duty gamers go. So they're really not marketing to me. But I don't know. Looks cool. Does it say when it comes out? November?
Yeah, I have a date for it. I thought I put a date in the notes.
November 10th. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, November 10th.
That's cool.
A lot of games coming out in November, dude. And the last news point, listeners, and we'll get right the hell out of your hair. As if we're forcing you guys to listen. Last news point is starting August 29th. If you're a fan of Megadeth, if you play World of Warships Legends or World of Tanks Modern Armor, they're going to feature Megadeth, which is so fucking weird. World of Tanks Modern Armor, all 4 band members, Mustaine, James Lomenzo, Dirk Van Buren, I can't pronounce his name, and guitarist Kiko Lareo, plus infamous mascot Vic Rattlehead will be available as 2D commanders in these games. And then World of Warships Legends, Dave Mustaine and Vic will be specially designed guises for American commanders. And then Tanks will also feature a Vic Rattlehead 3D commander with 17 animations recorded just for him. And every Megadeth commander in both games will speak with a custom voiceover recorded by band members themselves. The first time Megadeth has ever provided video game voiceovers. So like
this is fucking weird. This is so like
it's like Kiss getting involved with like fast food or something.
Like I love Megadeth, but like I always wonder in these scenarios, does someone in the band like play the fucking game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it that somebody like that whoever sells these games came to them and was like, "Hey, if you let us do this, we'll pay you like $10 million." And then they're just like, "Okay, yeah, I'll stand in a fucking sound booth and say words for a little bit." It just seems it's so strange. Like this is such a strange news point. It's so strange. I almost want to check it out, but I'm not downloading.
That's why I included it, man, because it is really bizarre. You know, it's not really the norm for us. Talk about Megadeth and video games.
It is strange. Like this is this the first time Megadeth has ever been in a game other than like their music being on a soundtrack? Because that's really bizarre.
There's like a skin for one of the battleships. It's just like it's all spray painted, but it says Megadeth and like their logo. And it's like it's just so fucking weird.
I think it'd be so cool if like you find out that on tour or something, the band just got really into these games and we're just like playing them all the time. Like, and then that's why they got into it. But I guarantee you that's not the case. They probably have no fucking idea what's going on. And, you know, someone came up to them and was like, "Hey, if you do this, we'll pay you a shitload of money." And they're just like, "All right."
It's honestly probably the opposite of the band being into the game, but more so developers being into the band.
Oh, sure.
Being like, how do we get the band involved, dude? We got to get Megadeth on board here. It's really weird. Well, there's no new games to talk about because we talked about it last episode, and there aren't any new ones for us to talk about this time. So that being said, Jake, I know you're not feeling well because of all of the bee stings, and my wife has been kind of sick all day, and I'm worried that I'm going to catch whatever she has. I've got like this weird taste in my throat. It came out of nowhere. And I don't know. Maybe it's from all the spray paint I was using today. I'm like painting shit. But
could be.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not getting whatever the hell she has because she's been in bed for... She hasn't
could be COVID, dude. Spiking.
I know. It is spiking. And there's new variants. And it's probably what the fuck it is. And I'm not...
who cares? Doesn't matter anymore.
I'm supposed to be going to a concert on
You're going to have to deal... We're going to have to deal with it every fucking year for the rest of our lives now. So...
Yeah.
If you're sick, stay home.
Yeah, but I got concert tickets for Tuesday. I can't. I got to go. Hopefully I just...
What concert?
Ben Nichols. He's playing solo up in Pittsburgh. Down in Pittsburgh. Yep.
Well, wear a mask.
I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it. I just have a weird taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably fine.
I'm just going to stay away.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's just like... We're getting into that time of year where flu season's going to start up and everything. And so I don't know. I was really sick a couple weeks ago whenever we missed the podcast. I don't remember what happened, but when I was on the show and I said I wasn't feeling well, and I'm almost positive it was just allergies. Like some allergy shit has gotten real crazy this year, I think. And usually allergies don't give you a fever, but I don't know, man.
Dude, stuff's just going around. It's just illnesses, sickness. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I hate the idea of being sick. I hate the idea of like, I don't know, just not feeling 100%. It's just a part of living, I suppose, though. But I don't know, man. That's all I have for the listeners to say. This is our first under 1 hour show we've had in a long time. So I apologize to the listeners that there's not much else but it's mathematically makes sense.
It's barely under 1 hour. Yeah. It's probably like 58 minutes.
But mathematically it makes sense.
We started at 6:35.
Yeah. It makes most sense.
7:35.
Dude, it makes most sense that this one's going to be shorter because like I said, we just recorded on Tuesday. So it's now Sunday. Hasn't even been a full week. So here we are. But thanks for tuning in. Jake, do you have anything you'd like to say before we close out?
I don't think so. I'm in a weird position where my ditch is like half weed whacked because I hit the bee's nest, and then so funny story about it. So obviously you start getting stung, you do the whole embarrassing like flapping your arms, running around thing, trying to slap all the bees off you and stuff. So I do this, and of course I drop my like weed whacker, my headphones, my safety glasses, everything right beside the fucking bee's nest in the ditch.
Right.
So I go and I get in the pool and I get myself kind of taken care of, and I'm like, I gotta go get my fucking weed whacker because it's like a $300 weed whacker. Like I'm not gonna leave it in the fucking ditch by the road for somebody to steal.
Well, the bees
and so
kill them.
So I was like, what can I do? So I got like I put on like long pants and a long sleeve shirt, and I put on a hoodie and fucking like zipped the fucking cords tight so it was like just around my face, and I had I put on like boots and stuff, and I walked over there, and thankfully it was getting dark, so all the bees, like I watched them kind of fly into the nest, and then I just kind of slowly went in and got my shit and like got out of there, and they didn't come after me, but man, bees.
Well, that's what you get for running a weed whacker into a nest.
Isn't it kind of fucked though that a being that small can hurt you that bad?
No, dude. It's weird, but like, it's not.
It shouldn't be possible.
It's not safe out there.
Like between like ticks and fucking bees, we should just like
and mosquitoes
come up with an insecticide that just wipes all insects off of the planet Earth. And then, yeah, of course, you know, all of our trees and flowers and everything would die because we'd have no pollinators and all this stuff. But for a brief year or so, it would be awesome. No mosquitoes.
That's always like
no
when spring hits after like a cold winter. The first few spring evenings that are like warm enough to be outdoors late at night, there's not a fucking bug in the air. And you can just be outside and enjoy it. And it's like, this would be amazing if it were like this all the time. There's no gnats flying around your ears. You're not getting bit by mosquitoes. There aren't house flies yet. And if there are, they're stupid and they don't know how to fly and stuff. But it's weird. Like spring is awesome for like evenings when it gets warm in the springtime. That's a taste of what it could be.
Yeah. It is a taste. I don't know. I guess that's it though. I gotta go take some fucking medicine or something.
Yeah.
My arm looks like a sausage, and I got stuck. So like one of the things that they say about bee stings is that you get joint pain from it, and literally everywhere I got stung is on a joint. I got stung on the shoulder. I got stung on my wrist. I got stung on my elbow, and I got stung 3 times on one of my knees. So like I've been calling myself like the sausage man all day because my arm just looks like a sausage because it's all bloated and shit. And honestly, it's not too bad. It's starting to go down. Like earlier this morning, I couldn't even make a fist because my hand was so swollen. But now it's like I don't really have much of a problem with it. It's just itchy. It's just like red and itchy. But
it is messed up.
Get out of here. I gotta go take some Benadryl.
Insects like that can mess you up. All right. All right. So yeah, thanks listeners for tuning into episode 290 of PS is Awesome. We're a weekly PlayStation podcast. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, we appreciate you being here with us today, and we will appreciate you being with us next week. So if you want to tune in next week, it will be live for non-Patreon people on Monday, and if you're a subscriber to our Patreon, you might get it a day in advance, or at least a few hours in advance. Maybe you can listen to it Sunday night or Sunday during the day. We don't promise that, but we try to do it. So make sure to support our show for $1 a month, which is cheaper than anything you can probably find anywhere else. Patreon.com/PS This is Awesome. And with that being said, Jake, thanks for joining me today. Hope your arm feels better by next week. And we will talk to everybody later. So, like, Y2K, Yar's Revenge, and Yesterday Origins. P.S. This is awesome.
This is awesome.